So I created um, a practical way for me to visualize and shift energy. I effortlessly work at the end of the spectrum where it's macrocosmic results immediately, so it was difficult for me to shift my current situation because I couldn't get a emotional um, I couldn't evoke an emotional response that would motivate me to um, allot focused time to visualize or to um, actually put in you know consistent effort when it came to switching my own personal situation. And so these are all papers that they're triggering to me during this period of time when they all held like a lower vibration, poverty conscious, or um, I don't want to say unaligned, but yeah, I was not living my soul's purpose, or like they would trigger an emotional response that is counterproductive from what I was looking to create, or grief, or just a bunch of different things. The colors, the particular pictures, they held a memory seed atom that would just subconsciously, uh, you know, drain the energy that I was trying to, focus on bringing these things into fruition in my immediate life. And so, using peripheral, vision, um, and collage. I really like art, but um, these are shifting the energetic signature from the initial memory seed atom that was disappointing, or like failure, or like just all these different emotional responses that were not holding the frequency that I needed to maintain in order to effortlessly do this for myself when I just do it with my eyes closed for everybody else. And so I figured out a way to do this so that way this is just anytime I glance at it, these things are reprogramming my subconscious mind automatically. And so they're shifting from, these patterns to where these used to mean one thing, but now, they're all working together. And there's no words really, just glancing at them. There's no right or wrong way, but anytime I pass this, the meaning shifts, the energy shifts, and it will hold. And it's like building resilience, you know, um, or a muscle memory as far as like with energy goes, for me anyway, because I, this is what I need. But I cracked the code because I will never just sit and focus on one thing like for myself enough to get the energy in motion to like make it make sense. Like my back was against the wall before, or I was distracting myself with money or with different things, you know, um, and I had to lose everything to understand that like all the material things are nothing in comparison to the spiritual and the energetic awareness that I gained. And so that being the catalyst and being able to monetize those things, um, in a meaningful way, in a structured way, like, where it's not just willy nilly or like, all these things are draining my energy and I can't see a way out. This is super simple to me because my mental energy is what is the most powerful for me. The physical energy, I don't, it's, you know, whatever, but um, where it was getting lost in the sauce is the emotional response because I was coming from such a high frequency naturally that is non-biased. Like in order to move me to do something, I had to be really, really appalled or like really, really touched. Where I was just, but in order to hold a frequency, you can't be too much of the either way. You have to hold the middle ground, and so that was the issue for me. But this is um, it's crazy because like it incorporates different things, that like I said would usually trigger me, but at the same time, even when I forget like that, it's not like me sitting down to meditate on this and then I get in my head or I get distracted or whatever the case is. Like these are automatically doing it just like sound therapy. I healed a lot of things while I was sleeping or playing things when I'm, doing the dishes or incorporating different things. So I use scent as well. I sprayed all these pictures with the scent that I find pleasing, I guess. But so then when I smell that, it automatically will trigger that memory seed atom to, invest energy towards visualizing, the desired outcome, which is, um, you know, financially stable, having income coming in passively, different things like that, or whatever, having a safe place to bring my babies to, not having to worry about these things, um, being able to give back to my community and volunteer and do different things like deliberately, consciously, in a way that is not just, because I used to use this, like if you don't feel compassion or love, I was using different, like going to the food shelf. And I didn't understand that. I liked a particular person there who was kind and compassionate. So when I was feeling, uh, instead of emotionally eating, which I did used to do before, I switched that behavior to go to this particular food shelf. But it took so long. You had to wait outside for like 3 hours. And, although like for 15 minutes, it was like super touching, like I would cry, like, oh my God, they have my coffee or whatever, but that was not balanced either. And so, like, I'd rather give an hour of my time to go help somebody, and be a volunteer and still feel that emotional fulfillment that I was, you know, seeking from that experience more so than the food because it wasn't about ever like the money, like money comes always, but it was a fact of like not wanting to do something that I didn't love, or that I didn't want to put my name behind. So it put me into a rut because I did used to I made a lot of people pay for my pain, and that was in an unhealed state as well, but I feel that I use money and food and either being like apathetic or being super um, unhinged as like a gauge to motivate me to get some money or to, do all these responsible things like have a house payment and all these stuff. And none of that was fulfilling, and that was the issue. this is the solution. And anybody can do this, but I feel that for me, it's pictures because I write real great. But if you just sit in your peripheral, it's the signs, symbols, and synchronicities. It's like everything has a vibration and it resonates, with a certain frequency. So all these things was resonating with, not even anywhere near my natural state. Like naturally, I'll vibrate, from abundance and from unconditional love and from the 13th chakra, like when I see different colors and um, smell different things like that, focus for 1 second smelling the flower is way more powerful than all the pain I went through during these particular times, like, but for whatever reason, because it was the collective, like this particular paperwork or whatever is when I had a caddy waiver and the county, was getting over on people with disabilities, during COVID. And they were charging medical insurance all this money for services they didn't provide because they were fearful. They didn't know how they, whatever was going to happen. I get that. But it was a terrible time for me. But like the collective, um, like energetic transference, like that that alone, like looking at these papers, being in that situation, like I cut off my caddy waiver, but it was crazy. Like I didn't realize how like unconscious or subconscious programming, like for generations, like, um, energetically, like binded, this definition or this unwritten, like code that triggered these deep seated, feelings and emotions to um, trip me up, and so like there obviously, you can't hate the player. But when you understand the game, you can reverse engineer it, and everybody's different. So this works for me, but it's because I would see a picture and it would like automatically generate an emotional response, or I would hear, a song and then it would trigger something, and then that would move me to act or to think something or to know, okay, this means something, this doesn't mean anything, keep it pushing. But I didn't realize how many, like, ugly, the word ugly, like you think is nothing, but like the subconscious programming that was, um, imprinted behind that particular word, it's, certain people, it can just impact them. But with me, because my energy is more useful on the macrocosmic scale, then I was getting back the macrocosmic, resistance. Like I'm talking about, like it was crazy. Like, you know, I went to court and there was no way that I should have lost my Social Security hearing, but I did, and then it was like back to back to back, all these things, and I was like, oh my God, like what the fuck? But it was because there was a invisible, you know, um, stripe on this particular thing, and I was had to, break that generational curse for the energy that was constantly being transferred onto this particular, um, like on this particular pendulum that was dictating the um, collective, energetic transference. And so man, look, this is a breakthrough. So that's why I'm sharing it. Feel free to use it. Um, or if you'd like to know more, I certainly would elaborate, or I'll let you know my results. Um, but I wouldn't even record the video. So I already know it worked.